And they're told, well, think about your whole life is just this whole big mountain of laundry. And it's so overwhelming because there's just so much of it and there's no way you're ever going to finish. But what you got to do is just start working with the stuff that's at your feet. Just start cleaning what's right there, right now, that you can reach and that you can do something about. And then before you know it, you're going to work your way through the whole pile of laundry. It's going to be great. And I just really needed to hear that right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of laundry.
Oh my god.
That gets claps, yeah.
It's funny because it's true.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Box, the one and only Annie chat box, where we, good friends, snuggle up in a teeny tiny space to talk about all things anime. And sometimes in our shoujo treehouse, we stan things, but that is another topic for another time. My name is Cammie, and I'm going to be hosting you today, but I am not alone. In fact, despite social distancing practices, all three of my other hosts are in the same building, the apartment building, that is, and we'll go ahead and start with Cassie.
Wouldn't that be, terrifying if they were due to coronavirus, everyone must live in studio apartments?
Oh God. How are they going to give us the funds for that? That's what I want to know.
They can't. That's why they're not going to do it.
Ugh, yep. You doing okay over there, Cassie? You feeling all right?
I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs.
You feeling it, Mr. Krabs?
Oh, that got me. That got me.
Well, the other person that I would like to ask the same question to, can you feel it, Mr. Craig?
No, I can't. Not anymore. So much anime has been consumed in the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so. I've watched a lot, and I'm watching Kamen Rider on the side, and Cross-Ange, and I've also played a shit ton of video games. I'm basically trying to keep myself sane during quarantines. The Rona needs to fucking go away.
Did you just say
Quarantines?
Yeah.
Quarantines.
Was that intentional?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I was worried for a moment, but yeah, carry on.
It was 100% intentional.
In terms of the word quarantines, can you feel it, Miss Lily?
I feel great because I don't like going outside or interacting with people or doing things. So
Same.
I watched the bare minimum of anime and have mostly just been playing video games.
That sounds pretty good. I know of P5R, but what else have you been playing?
Mainly just that.
Didn't you get your Trials
Some
game?
Trials of Mana, a little.
I just started that, but
You've dabbled.
You also spent the entire weekend playing that Gundam game.
well, I spent all of Saturday playing Gundam, but
Oh, okay.
nobody asked to play on Sunday, and so me and Cassie just played P5.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. And for those of you who can't see our Discord call, three out of the four of us are sporting Persona 5 icons. It's pretty great. But that is a discussion for another time, because today, for this episode, we are going to give you our seasonal impressions for the spring 2020 season. It is spring, right? My sense of time isn't that whacked out. Okay,
Yeah, you're correct.
cool. All right,
No,
all right.
it's fall, Cammie. It's fall 2020.
Fucking God.
I mean, quarantine brain breaks us. But
the Rona.
but anyway,
I'm not joking. It's fall.
The Rona has destroyed us all.
it's
Not
fall
me.
because
I'm prospering.
Lily's just prepped for this.
Yeah, not my fault. You guys are weak.
Oh, please. I'm
Level-
more of a hermit
level
than you'll
up.
ever be.
Yeah, but I'm
Please.
thriving from this.
So am
I wish I could be as much of a hermit as you are.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't get the opportunity. That's the unfortunate thing.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess For those of you that this might be your first time tuning into one of these episodes, I'll give you a quick little rundown. This is just basically there's this whole lore about and nautical themes of like deserted islands and bottles, and watching shows and telling us if they're good, they swim, if they are bad, they sink. However, that's been mixed up a little bit in recent years as we've kind of shifted our gears as a podcast from reviewing constant seasonal anime to reviewing shows just on a you hear that, yeah. To just recommending shows that we want to talk about from any time and any era. But we still do like to give you impressions, so we can just give you a taste of our opinions on the upcoming anime seasons. So that's what we're going to do today. And our order is going to be Cassie, Lily, Craig, and then myself. So it looks like Cassie is first up to bat to tell us about a little basket of fruit. Maybe the second basket of fruit on the table. I'm not sure.
Ha, 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 ha. So, I gotta ask, which fruit is everybody else in the basket? What fruit are you?
I'm a grapefruit.
Oh, at first I thought you said a grape, and I'm like,
grape,
a singular grape?
No, just a grapefruit.
Why a grapefruit?
'Cause I am sour.
Why would there be a grapefruit in the basket?
Because
Yeah,
it just found its way in.
They are very large. Have you ever seen a grapefruit?
I actually have.
oh my lord.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm a pear because I'm very picky about my textures of fruit, and pears are one of the few fruits that I enjoy the texture of, so that'll work.
What about you, honey?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Obviously you're a peach.
Aww.
Because you got a great ass.
Al Pacino!
God
God
I'm
damn
gonna
it.
leave.
No,
Give me all you got!
You're very sweet and cute.
Thanks.
There we go.
I think I'd probably be like a strawberry. I
Yeah.
like strawberries. But enough of that. I like Fruits Basket. I cheated because I want to talk about Fruits Basket. Going forward, if there are season 2s, we won't pick them as our primary picks. But for the last season that I can do it, I was going to. And I picked up Fruits Basket because it is one of my favorite mangas ever. And it was one of my favorite animes growing up. When I was in high school, I had some bootleg fucking DVDs of Fruits Basket, and I watched them constantly. I switched back and forth between the English dub and the Japanese dub. I fell in love with Laura Bailey. She became like the reason I wanted to be a voice actress. There's so much stuff surrounding Fruits Basket, the old stuff, that when the new one came around last year, I was like, I don't know if I like this. I didn't know if it was necessarily needing a brotherhood treatment. And like most things in life, I was horribly wrong. The show's great. You should watch it if you like drama, if you like good character writing. I believe that friend of the podcast, Zach, referred to Fruits Basket as the Evangelion of shoujo manga, or of shoujo series. And I think that that's very true. There's a lot of really good interpersonal relationships that are explored in this show outside of a traditional family and within a traditional family. There's so many different things that I could say that I love about Fruits Basket, the first season of this show, and I'd like to say that the second season is doing a really good job of getting you right back into it. I'm happy they didn't take a long break with this one. I'm really happy it's back, and it's worth your time. 100% swim. Love it. It's good. I'm so
Awesome.
happy.
Be sure to take care of the laundry that's in front of you. Worry about the
Craig,
stuff.
shut your mouth.
Worry about the pile later. You'll get to it eventually. That episode fucked me.
A soft spoiler, but there's this. I think that one of the things that I love about Fruits Basket is that it's very much made for like a younger female audience, but I think people who are adults can take a lot of the messages that are being presented in Fruits Basket and relate to them very heavily. For example, one of the conversations that's had, and I believe it's like the second episode, is they're worried about their futures and they don't know who they want to be as people, and they don't want to have to think about what they're going to be doing with their futures. And they're told, well, think about your whole life is just this whole big mountain of laundry. And it's so overwhelming because there's just so much of it and there's no way you're ever going to finish. But what you got to do is just start working with the stuff that's at your feet. Just start cleaning what's right there, right now, that you can reach and that you can do something about. And then before you know it, you're going to work your way through the whole pile of laundry. It's going to be great. And I just really needed to hear that right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of laundry.
Oh my god.
That gets claps, yeah. That's good stuff.
It's funny because it's true. But yeah, Fruits Basket is really good. Also, I really enjoy the new character designs with this show. I was worried because it didn't look like the old series that I was going to be a snob about it, but I really think it's clean and polished. TMS Entertainment is doing this one, I believe, and they're doing a bang-up job.
Yeah.
Also, I'm exclusively watching this in the dub because I have nostalgia and no one can stop me.
It is delayed after episode 3.
That's fine. I'll wait.
So that's what you're going to do. Me and Zach were wondering what you were going to do. I honestly predicted that you would continue on, but...
I'll wait. Because I need to go back and rewatch the first series with Lily anyway, and then I can get reused to the Japanese, because Lily doesn't watch dubs.
Oh, fair.
Fuck that.
Besides, I am piled so high with schoolwork and anime right now that if I can put something off, I'm going to do it.
I feel you there.
But yeah, unless somebody else has something else to say about Fruits Basket, I think we can move on. But it's definitely 150% recommended. If you haven't watched the first season, get your butt moving. The whole first series is dubbed if you really want to dub. And if not, like the Japanese dub, from what I've listened of it, is also fucking phenomenal. Like there's a lot of love being put into Fruits Basket and it deserves it.
It does. I agree. I'm glad to hear that season 2 is holding up just as much as the first one did, considering for you and for Craig and many other people, season 1 was one of the best anime of last year. So that's
Agreed.
awesome. That's awesome.
I am a bit frustrated that the opening isn't as good anymore, but it's still nice. The song's nice. There's just a lot of still animation and walking towards the camera.
Yeah, they like the walk. I like the walk.
But that's a nitpick. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. I am very excited about this one. Up next is Lily. I would love to hear the adventure behind this show in particular.
Wait, which one?
You don't even have your stuff prepped?
No one gave me a list.
Cassie told you!
I told it to you twice. The first time you were like, oh, move it around. And then I said it to you again.
Just what's the
Shin,
first one?
Sakura,
Yeah.
Taisen, the animation.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
I
that
didn't
one.
watch it.
Explain. Explain.
So I kind of knew it was gonna be bad, but because game adaptation, they're basically never good. I know this. I've watched way too many, like Megami Tensei adaptations, and then so I was like, well, okay, I'll give this one a shot. Booted it up. All the characters are in CG, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. not today. Not like this. I already don't want to watch anime. So, messaged Cassie and asked her if I could just not do that. I thought about filling up this spot with Princess Connect, because Craig kept telling me I need to watch that. Booted up the first episode, then got kind of bored, but I'm also super picky with fantasy, and also comedy, and it has both of those things, and I wasn't big on it. So then I stopped, and I was like, well, 3 is fine. 3 anime is fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm really curious. Wait, so how do you know how many minutes of Sakura that you watched before you turned it off?
Like 3.
I I mean, I'm proud of you for
Perfect.
going that far. And you know
Perfect.
how Lily
Yeah.
said 3 is enough? Going forward, we're only going to
There you
do 3. Spoilers. So
They're trying-
enjoy this
They're
while you can.
They're trying really hard to keep me on this podcast.
I am
Sounds like
trying
it.
so
We'll
hard.
see if it works.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down. I'm glad to know the exact amount of minutes because I was like, okay, well, that's 3 more minutes than I need to waste on giving the show a chance. So good to know.
Yeah, I thought the first, because you notice immediately. It's like immediately you're like, okay, this is all in CG, and I thought maybe I'll deal. Maybe I'll deal for the 3 episodes, and then no, I'm not.
Nah. Don't
So
waste
would
your
you
precious
say
quarantine.
Sinks.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay. Cassie, are you gonna ask the inevitable sync question?
What does
What
it
does it-
sink into?
Yeah.
Dead air.
Lily.exe has exited the chat.
Just pick a random substance and drop it in, honey. Oh dear.
Is she dead, Jin?
Yes.
I think she
yes.
might be.
This-
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, I'm here. It's fine.
Oh,
okay.
You're just being an
Okay.
asshole. What does it sink into, honey?
I don't know. Fucking.
How about a diet Coke
Sinks in a
energy
poop.
drink?
Wait, what?
Oh dang.
Sinks into
Into-
poop.
Poop.
That's really boring. What kind of juvenile child do you think I am, Craig? Huh?
Remember, that was your
Sinks
default
into
answer
poop?
to everything.
Sinks into poop, huh?
Yeah, that was
You
what
think
you...
I'm a 5-year-old, Craig?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Get out of here.
I mean, I can leave.
Get out of here. Anyways, yeah, it sinks into poop.
Okay.
Huzzah!
Works for me.
Fine.
Craig, before you leave, could you please give me your thoughts on a little show called Appare-Ranman?
So, if you tuned into our surprise episode, then you know why I chose it. It's Anime Wacky Racers, produced by PA Works. It's an original. And I was like, yo, this looks like crazy shit. I never read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run. I really should. I've honestly thought about it more recently as I watched the show. By the way, 2 of my 4 shows have been affected by the Rona and have been postponed after episode 3, so that makes my job easier of not watching anime this season. This is one of them. So
I didn't know that.
so basically, this show cold opens with them in the mid-race, the transcontinental race, to basically get enough cash money to go back to Japan, because we have Appare, basically a fucking Senku-ass character that's like, I'm just socially awkward, I like science, I'm an inventor, I'm gonna build something, I have an underground laboratory, my family just doesn't give a shit about me, and I have a best friend, his name is Kosame, and he's just basically a typical samurai boy, he's all about the honor and shit like that, and basically, Kosame and Appare board a steamboat, because Appare is like, I ain't having this shit anymore, and then they run out of steam in the Pacific Ocean, and then they get picked up by the Coast Guard or whatever, and basically they wind up in LA in the 1800s, and everyone speaks Japanese, because that's really interesting. In these 3 episodes, you figure out how that they're like, we gotta do odd jobs, and then they find cars and racing, and they're like, oh, we could enter this transcontinental race with a wacky, variety of characters. And we also realize in 1800s, and much akin to now, Americans are assholes to everyone and everyone that's not an American, because there's different ethnicities in this show, and yeah, it's
I heard
cringe.
I heard it's like G Gundam levels of racism though.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. I mean, they have a girl, and I want to say she's Chinese, and then she works as a mechanic for this crew, and the guy's like, women can't race, and I'm like, okay, yeah, she'll race eventually, but this is kind of bad for right now. You also have what I don't want to assume, but I think you have a Native American kid. Hototo, and basically he's trying to find a man who killed his father. And I'm like, oh, this is setting up some intrigue. And basically it's about Kosume, Appare, and Hototo, like forming a team and basically in the 3 episodes getting a workspace to actually operate. And that was the end of the episodes. This show's fun. I can't wait to watch more of it when it inevitably returns. So it swims on a boat in the Pacific Ocean. Don't get lost, kids, because that's scary. But hey, maybe the Coast Guard will get you, and they'll be able to speak your language. That's the weird fucking thing that I'm sticking with here. I don't know how they're able to speak the language, but it's anime.
Awesome. Do they ever explain Appare's like weird facial paint like on his lips?
Okay, so
it's so noticeable to me.
So no, they don't. But I always assumed it was like paint, like face paint or something like that.
Yeah.
And I always just assumed he was either A, too lazy, or B, too eccentric, kind of like Senku in his like botchkoi hair style, where he's just like, oh, whatever, I have wacky anime hair and face paint. I mean, his getup is just basically eccentric as well. Kosume obviously being a little bit more reserved just with 2 katanas. He's just like, these are my family's heirlooms. I gotta get home to my bride-to-be. Why did I board this boat? I'm stuck in America. God damn it.
Oh, no.
So
wait, if I could get a reminder, because you've intrigued me, I might have to check out at least the first couple episodes of the show. Where is it streaming at?
Funimation. A good majority of anime are on Funimation this season, because the Sony money has finally paid off. Please fix your subs and your video player, Funimation.
Yeah. Speaking of shows on Funimation, that's actually where my first impression pick also lies, and I'm going to talk to you about Arte. So Arte is also streaming on Funimation. It is about a young lady from an aristocratic family who loves to paint, and the only person that's ever supported her painting has been her father. Her mother thinks that she should just work on basically accentuating her womanly charm so she can eventually be bought off as a bride later. And then after her father dies, she's left basically in a household where she feels she can't pursue her passion, which is painting, and she decides to go out into the world and seek out an apprenticeship. This is in the 16th century in Florence, Italy, and due to the time and place that it's in, Arte runs into a lot of issue trying to be recognized as an apprentice because, hey, if you're a girl in the 16th century, you can't paint. You're a girl. You can't do that. The only people that paint are men. Their workshops are all filled with men. But she eventually does sort of win favor with an older gentleman named Leon, I think, or Leo. And he says, okay, I will take you on as my apprentice. He doesn't start her off easy. She has to prove herself by just going through a lot of trials as far as completely remodeling a shed on top of the workshop building where she is going to live. She cuts her hair very much to a lot of kind of like go hard female leads. You can think like Yona, Shirayuki from Shirayuki Hime, that sort of thing. And it's just a nice sort of easygoing show that's got a bit of a refreshing setting since it's a period piece. Doesn't seem to be doing anything too intense or dramatic. Like Arte, will get down on herself because she feels like she, people look down on her, but she's just very determined and plucky, and she's like, I'll do my best. One of the most charming things about her, I think, is whenever she is about to cry, she just like slaps her cheeks and she's like, no, I'm holding it in. I'm not going to let the tears fall. I don't want to cry. And it's very cute. And everybody like laughs at her. So Arte's very middle ground for me. The art looks better than I thought, which you'd hope so because it's a show about art and aesthetics and art style. The backgrounds are very nice, very detailed. Character designs are nice. It just doesn't move very much. It's a little bit awkward in its movement, which can happen. It has a beautiful opening by Maya Sakamoto, who is just so prolific and does a lot of very like feel-good openings. She did the Kobato opening, for example, and this opening is very much like that. The storytelling also isn't the greatest. To borrow a term from Mandy over at Anime Addicts Anonymous when I was talking to her, because we both were watching this show, she mentioned describing the storytelling as heavy-handed and very much essentially that the show never lets you forget that she's a girl and girls can't paint, because every 2 seconds someone's like, wait, a girl? Nani, you can't paint. I'm not letting a girl in my workshop. And then she's like, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't paint. And it just basically gets really tiring, and I would have loved to see some more nuance, maybe looking more into the setting that it's in, exploring the culture, really getting into like painting methods. This is the 16th century. I'd love to know how they mixed paint and made different colors and stuff like that. And when the show does lean into those more technical aspects, it is really interesting. There was a scene where she snuck in to see a workshop where people were basically dissecting a dead body. And yeah, it was actually really cool. And the mentor's like, I want you to sketch this. Can you handle it? Like, and of course, she's just super eager and like super into it. And the fact that these dissections were seen as something that like, if you weren't allowed to attend, it was like against the church. And just the fact that this is a lot of ways of how people studied anatomy and stuff, like that stuff is really cool. But I can't say that the show always leans into those moments, unfortunately. On a whole, I think that Arte is very harmless. I don't think it does a whole lot to stand out, and that's pretty disappointing, just given that the premise is so unique.
Yeah.
If you want a nice, like, kind of lighthearted watch, you can go ahead. It swims in the sense that I'm going to keep watching it. I'm watching it with a friend of the podcast, Teresa, and I do enjoy it, but it's like a very light sink or swim. This show's just like treading water, basically, is what I'm saying. It's out in the ocean, treading water. If you want to watch it, go check it out on Funimation, or read the manga, because apparently the manga's like a lot better in every way.
Cool.
So there you go. Yeah. Oh my gosh, everyone. First round. All done. That's pretty exciting.
Woot.
Yay!
Yay! And that means that next up we go back around to Cassie. I am excited to listen to hear about what you have to say about this pick.
Hey, listeners! It sure is a show. I think one of the things that I gravitated to when it came to listeners was the studio doing it, which is Mappa. Mappa has been really going out of their way to do some really crazy shit, and they always have. Last season, they had that show that Lily really liked with Dorohedoro, which was one of the weirdest and most grotesque things I have ever seen in my life, but they were definitely putting themselves out there. And I think that that's one of the things about Mappa that I will always love, for better or for worse, is that they take risks. Mm-hmm. And they're definitely taking a risk here because this is an original show. It's not based on a manga. It's not based on a light novel. It's an anime original. And I'm actually really happy that we're getting more original anime. I feel like we've gotten more in the last year or two than we have in previous years. So I really hope, it keeps going. I hope that traction sticks and we get more and more original anime. I don't want more shows like Listeners, though.
Okay.
Because I do see that there is a lot of potential with this show. It really likes to draw inspiration from like early 2000s anime designs, and like the funkiness that you would see back then is really being reimagined here. From the character designs to the music to just the overall feel, I feel like I'm going back in time to a good time with the aesthetics of Listeners. However, I do not like the story. I have no idea what is going on.
Oh no.
They have a very interesting, I'll say, first episode and kind of setting up the world, but they really do this thing where they're like, let's say this one word over and over and over again and hope that you get it, instead of this is how the world views players, and this is what the earless are, because the earless are the foreboding evil menace that our heroes are supposed to be going up against. And I get that. Mm-hmm. That information is given to me in episode 1. And that's it. I don't remember what else happened. There were some explosions. There was some weird mind trippy stuff that some things were going on, some things weren't. Gotta watch a dude piss for 3 minutes. That was awk.
Oh, what? Yeah, that was in episode 2.
Yeah. This dude goes out in the middle of the night because he has to go pee, and they animated it so you could even see the steam coming off of his piss.
Yeah, it was really weird. Then a bunch of girls ambush him.
Yeah, and a bunch of girls ambush him, and then they ask for their autograph, and then they give him an autograph, and then it's kind of up in the air whether he's unconscious or he's really being beaten to a pulp by his partner. It's just weird, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It should be noted that Echo, the boy, is a fanboy of players, and players are basically that world's equivalent of fucking heavy rockers, which basically a lot of this draws inspiration from music. Also,
I get that. I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
But also,
you said it reminded you of the early 2000s based on mechs and all that sort of stuff. From what I
didn't even get to talk about the mechs yet.
Oh, okay. Well, Eureka 7, that same writer, from what I understand.
Yeah. But yes, so the only thing that I got out of those first 3 episodes, out of the rambling I just did, are that players are able to fight with magic robots when plugged into amps, because they have a jack in their bodies somewhere. Hers is on her lower back, but I guess other players have them in different places. I have no idea. And they plug into the amps, and then they're able to fight with robots. Because I don't know. Because. And that's about it. That's all you're going to get from the first 3 episodes. There's some weird thing going on in the background about how some big war was going on or a mistake was made. They also have a trope that I really don't like, in that the main female lead is an amnesiac, and they haven't really done anything with her. She's got a nice character design. I don't know. I'm floundering around because there isn't a lot of really good that I can say about Listeners. I'm dropping it. I don't care to continue it. But it's just so unfortunate because I really like the style. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. I like how it moves. I love that the characters look like they have depth to them. They're not little twigs. Their bodies have weight to them. It's so nice to see different body types like that in this show. And the main character is a silver-haired beauty. that's what I want in everything. But unfortunately, it's just not panning out here. I would say, kind of like how Cammy, softly paddled the last show, I'm gonna slowly drown this one.
Oh, no.
Hold its head a little underwater to give it a little bit of hope.
Is this baptism gone bad? I'm concerned.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, this one sinks into, I don't know, the water of a failed baptism.
Yikes.
I'm just not
unholy
feeling
water.
it. It's unholy. It's unfun. Okay. And it sucks, because I was really looking forward to this one.
It's honestly, out of the list of shows that I've watched, it's probably the weakest. I know Zach's a little more on it than I am, but I'm just, let's
just put it this way. It has a 5.9 on my anime list right now.
No.
Do you know what else actually has a 5 on my anime list now? Lily's next pick, which she can find in the discussion chat thing.
Gallon Dino rules.
It does. They're wrong.
If it's got a 5, it's because people who like anime
suck.
Anyways. Gallon Dino is fun, and I'm glad I picked it. It's a little bit more, I guess, self-contained than
Subdued.
Pop Team Epic.
Pop Team
Epic, which is nice, because there were a lot of skits in Pop Team Epic that I'm just kind of, that are just kind of go over your head or don't quite land that well. So Gallon Dino, like, also is, like, broken up into segments, but it's like you have a traditional anime, I guess, segment, and then you have these, like, segments that are done in, like, little art styles. Like, there's always this one where the dino, who is absolutely fucking adorable, by the way, like, he just does all these little things, and it's done in this, like, unique, like, kind of, sort of, like, clay art style, I guess, but it looks more like plastic rather than clay. And then they always have this, like, live action portion towards the end where someone in a big suit plays a dino.
I love that.
And it's still fucking adorable, and the live action sequences are just as good. And maybe anime fans are mad because they have to watch live action for 15 minutes, but I think it's great. I have fun watching Gallon Dino, so.
You know what? And that just goes to show that you can't always trust my anime list, like, ratings
for sure.
either, because, like, sure, listeners has a 5, and I'd agree with that, but everybody told me, even Suki, who pioneers the show a bit, told me, Cassie, you're not gonna like this. And so, I went into Gallon Dino, into Galto Kyouryuu, you might say, and was laying there, and with Lily, in bed, and we queued it up, and I was expecting nothing, and we laughed for like 20 minutes straight. I had so much fun.
Yeah,
and then I watched it high, and it was even better.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
imagine.
It does this thing with especially, like, with this reoccurring joke it does, is, like, the girl will say something to the dino, and then it'll just, like, slowly zoom in on its face, and then like, his mouth is always just agape, and he's just, like, sitting there, like,
And then
and then he, like, smiles, and he gets super happy, and every fucking time I laugh.
It is the absolute best. Yes.
It's good.
I agree. No, I am glad you were here to preach it. Like, I don't think the show is bad. I literally was just like, ooh, segue. Last time I checked on Mal, Gallon Dino had a 5. But I am totally with you. I mean, I showed it to my fiance just as, like, this is probably going to be nonsense, and I want you here to watch it. And he did. And literally after that, he went to VC and preached to everybody. He's like, have you all watched the best show of the season yet? Gallon Dino. You have to watch Gallon Dino. And we watch it every week, and each time the live action scene comes up since episode 2, he's been like, is this going to link back to Mieharu? Where is Mieharu?
Yeah,
is he okay?
You're like,
is he all right?
I'm, like, invested. I need to know.
I'm solely invested in just the live action at this point because it has a continuity, and I love it.
Are you kidding me? The other
I love
parts
the
are great
animated
too.
ones.
Like, the gal and the dino are so pure. I think one of the parts that made me laugh the most is the scene with cats. Like,
oh my god!
Where it was just like, the dino was terrible. That is the funniest moment in the entire show. Fight me. Fucking fight me.
It's such a good show.
I also really love the ending, too.
The AD is really nice. I like the OP a lot, too.
Yeah, same.
I like the OP. And it has little mini games. Like, you get to play Where is Dino?
Yeah,
and
Where's
gets
Dino?
harder every episode.
It's fun, too, because we're pretty honest about it. Like, with the last episode, we watched episode 3, Lily was like, oh, I didn't find him this time. And I was like, me either.
Same, actually. Couldn't in 4 either.
Yeah.
But no, I'm giving you shit, Craig, but I do enjoy the live action portions a lot, too. I just think they're both good. I think that the live action and the animated parts are both good, but for different reasons. They go for different kinds of comedy, and it's fun.
Listen, I'm a simple person, and apparently I just like a shit ton of air horn and lightsaber sound effects.
The air horn is
For
so
whatever
good.
fucking reason.
Every time I hear the lightsaber sound effects, I'm like, isn't that shit copyrighted?
You would imagine.
It's Japan.
It is. The
The
sound effect is copyrighted. I know that's why Smash doesn't use it for the lightsaber weapon.
Oh.
It's because the actual lightsaber sound is, like, copyrighted. I guess for a while, if you had it, like, LucasArts would come after you, but I don't know if that's still the case.
Well,
I mean, it's King Records. They don't give a shit.
Probably.
It's probably the same reason why JoJo's can get away with all of its naming conventions in Japan and nowhere else.
Probably.
Because nobody wants to touch Japan. They don't know how.
too powerful.
Too powerful.
I guess it's like, honestly, you could say that Gal and Dino has a little something for everybody, just because of like how varied it is.
It's a strange little fun show, and it's definitely not like it's not a narrative masterpiece, because that's not what it is, and for what it is, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good
Hell yeah.
tone. I can't wait to
But
watch more
so
episodes.
like if, I'm over here saying how much I don't like anime, but like am rooting and telling you all to go watch Gal and Dino, you better fucking watch Gal and Dino.
You heard it here first.
It's not a swim.
Damn right.
It's a threat.
Yeah.
It's yes.
She will find you. She has nothing better to do with her time right now.
Rude.
But truthful.
Craig, I actually had no idea your next show was like a thing until I saw clips of it on YouTube, and I was like, holy shit, they did this. Can you tell us about Digimon Adventure 2020?
Okay, so in our surprises, I called this Digimon 1.5, aka what happened when Tai and crew went on to the next grade. It is basically a remix reboot of Digimon 1990s or whatever year original adventure came out. It basically a lot of the show is predicated on nostalgia. And I'm going to spoil the first 3 episodes here when I say they basically replicate our war game in these 3 episodes. If you don't know what our war game is, it is basically the front half of the Digimon Digital Monsters movie, where Tai's mom made all sorts of disgusting food, and Izzy kept eating it all and almost died in the process of doing it. Well, this one basically is, like I said, it's a remix. Tai is getting ready to go to summer camp, and meets Izzy, and he's like, "Oh, my name is Izzy," or rather, let me rephrase, Izumi and Taichi and Hikari, because this is obviously Japan, and this is the first time I'm actually watching this in Japanese without American voices and American names, so this is really weird to me. I can't dissociate. Yamato is Matt, and I have to remember that. This show is also put on hiatus, because I'm kind of into this show, but I talked about this on Saber Progress, where I'm like, I like it, but it's totally just pulling at my, like, nostalgia. Back in, like, when I was maybe 10, and I'm like, oh man, they're going to the Digi world. Is it going to be the exact same thing? Because in episode 2, they literally do the thing where Matt and Tai fuse their Digimon together, and they become Omnimon, and they kill the virus, and I'm like, what? Where do they go from here? Because that's like endgame shit. Okay, and at the end of episode 3, they go to the Digi world, and like Izumi and Sora and Mimi and Joe haven't really gotten their Digimons yet. Izumi has been kind of like on comms, as all of us would know if you've watched Adventure 1. He's on his tablet just watching shit happen. And this show is actually kind of fun. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes and for how long, honestly. I remember in the surprise episode that I was like, yo, Toei will not let Digimon Adventure die for as long as they can milk it. They will never let it die. Cause I don't know if they're still doing a movie, but I was rather surprised that that they announced a TV show, because I remember the Try movies being a thing. So more Digimon, kids. Go watch our War Game Remix Edition, now on Crunchyroll.
Nice.
Yeah.
So wait, is that sink or swim?
It's a swim.
It's a swim. Okay.
With the knowledge that it's only got 3 episodes out, and we don't know when it's coming back.
Yeah.
Same with Healing Good and One Piece.
Your first show, did you give that a sink or a swim? The
Swim.
high-speed race one?
Swim.
Cool. So many swims for Craig.
Yeah.
Give or take. I like a lot that I've watched this season, so.
That's good. That's good.
I'm just impressed it looks so much like the original show.
Yeah.
As compared to like some other adaptations. Like I saw clips of it and I was like, wait, this is now?
Yeah.
It's exactly like it.
The Digimon don't actually have the transformation sequences. I kind of, again, going back to the nostalgia, like, you're going for it, but you're doing slight alterations, like Agumon transforms into Greymon, and like his body just kind of like grows, and you see his figure just change rather than just like do the whole did Agumon Digivolve 2 Greymon sort of bullshit that it did in the past. And the character designs are slightly different. AK, they got rid of gloves, and Yamato is wearing purple instead of green. So there you go.
Okay, good to know. All right, I'm gonna attempt to talk to you about a show called Otome Game no Hametsu Flag Shika Nai Akuyaku Reijou ni Tensei shiteshimatta, or My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to June. Okay. So, with a name that long, thank you, Cassie. With a name that long, you can probably. Oh, what's that, Greg?
Is it based on a light novel?
Well, I was gonna say with a name that long, you could probably bet that I was gonna say it's an isekai. However, I know that it's based on a manga. I don't know if it's also a light novel.
I believe it's a manga.
I know it's a manga. Yeah. And anyway, just to get into it, this is about I believe she's like 15 or 16-year-old girl who really, really liked to play this Otome game, somehow died, and then is reborn into the world of said Otome game called Fortune Lover. But she slowly realizes that she has taken on the role of Katarina Claes, who is the game's Villainess, the lead antagonist, who the playable character has to kind of conquer and lead to either death or basically she's like expelled and outcasted forever.
Exiled, basically.
Yeah, exiled. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Cassie. Yes, you are my dictionary, among other things. And so, yeah, she is like, oh no, I know this game really well, and I know what's going to happen to me as this character. And she has this realization when she's a little girl before the events of the game even take place. And she just thinks, okay, from the ground up, I have to change things so that the story doesn't follow the flags of the Otome game, which basically lead me to be in a bad position. And so she basically changes a lot of like her history with meeting certain characters because she is trying to find a way to save herself. You also get a really fun sort of like Inside Out-esque council in her mind of like all these different parts of her personality. There's like the logistical one, there's the really happy-go-lucky one, there's the paranoid one, and they're all arguing about, oh, this character, what should we do to handle them? And the long and short of it is she kind of just at the start, it seems like almost everybody she meets falls in love with her, whether it's just for her being trying to do the opposite of what she did in the past, or in the best cases, when she meets other female characters and basically ends up delivering lines that male characters are supposed to say to them. So then the girls all fall for her. This show is very much like it's the game is an Otome game with romanceable males, but this is very like it also gay. We get equal representation in this show so far. There's been some good gay shit. And so it's an isekai. It's mostly a comedy. I've heard that for the most part, our protagonist is kind of dumb, so any potential for actual romance kind of doesn't really exist. But it's really fun for what it is. I think that our lead, Katarina, is just very dumb and very fun. She's very enjoyable. She sees herself in this situation, and instead of playing dumb like a lot of harem protagonists or isekai protagonists would, she's like, no. I'm going to take control to make sure that I survive. And she's just kind of brash and unafraid to speak her mind, and everybody falls in love with her, even though she's just very oblivious. And a lot of the characters surrounding her, like the bachelors or whatever, are very like surface level tropey, but then it's just funny to see how they act in response to the way that Katarina interacts with them. And it's a fun world, honestly. It's a fun cast of characters. It's neat to see Katarina's strategy and how that informs us of the world because of what she knew as a player. And I don't know, it's not amazing. I think, per se, outside of the premise. I think the premise is pretty great. But, like, in its execution, I don't think it's doing anything, like, masterful or really impactful. I kind of wish that the art and animation was a little better.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I don't know why. I come back to it each week and I really don't mind watching it. I kind of like it. I think a really good way to describe it, that Cassie, you told me when you watched the first episode, is it is kind of one of those popcorn shows that you can, like, watch and in a little bit of ways, like, turn your brain off with and just kind of enjoy. I'm curious to know if that continued for you, because I know that you watched all 3 of the first episodes as well, right?
Yeah, I'm watching this weekly with Terry. Every Sunday we watch an episode. It's great. And honestly, I agree with you for the most part, and I still think it holds that popcorn kind of intrigue to it. Like, if you're looking for something fun and just a little endearing, maybe a little funny, it's really nice. It's nice to see a competent female isekai protag. I think the only nitpick I have is I wish she was a little less oblivious. Especially because they set up that she's just, like, so good at this game, and she understands why point A to point B would work for these other heroines, but she's not able to apply that same psychology to herself. That doesn't make any, like, sense. I think she's probably operating off the thought of, oh, I'm the villainess of the game, so therefore I can't get a good end, so I'm not even going to think about it. Maybe that's what they're going for. A good way to put it. But at the same time, it's just like, that dude literally bitch you own it, girl. Like,
yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh. Oh, she's a lot. And if you enjoy any sort of, like, stupid harem tropes, I guarantee you will find them in this. There's like the incest route, there's the, like, tsundere route, there is the fucking shy girl route, there is what's looking really intriguing is the protag ex-villainess route, which I'm hoping will become canon. Yeah. Your favorite girl, I like her route too, where they, like, bond over basically
smutty
just being
romance
nerds.
novels.
Yeah. They just like being nerds and reading trashy romance novels together.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
It's good female friendship, and I totally think that she's in love with her, which is great. I think both the other female leads are definitely in love with Katarina, and it's great. It's nice to see some girls in love with her, too, because they didn't have to have that there, but they do, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, so this one, I'm definitely going to swim. Again, I think it is a popcorn watch, but it's fun, and, you know, out of so many goddamn isekai shows that we get that are just, like, hitting all the basic points, I just love the fact that this one is so unique, and I don't know when we'll see another show like this again sometime. I hope it's soon, but who knows, so yeah, check it out if you're interested. I'm glad to know you'll still be watching it with Teresa.
Yee, girl.
Yeah. But then that means we are on to round 3. And Cassie has another sequel up for us. A 3.
Yes, good old Kaguya-sama wa Kokurasetai, or Tensai-tachi no Renai Zunousen, also known as Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2.
Also known as Cassie Cheats Part 2.
It's true. I won't do this next season, I promise. Even if I didn't get to talk about this one during picks, I would have picked it up anyway and talked about it here anyway. So really, did I cheat?
Yes.
Dang, that was 2.
Fine. Well, for now, my labor, the fruits of my cheating labor have paid off, because I get to sit here and talk about this show that I love oh so much. Kaguya-sama Love is War is my favorite anime comedy, and it is continuing to be my favorite anime comedy. It's funny. It is a rom-com, but it isn't exclusively focused on the rom-com, and I think that's what's really great about Kaguya-sama. There is an extended supporting cast, and they're all funny. Chika continues to be amazing, Ishigami continues to be great as well, and our 2 leads, Kaguya and Shirogane, are both amazing as well. They have amazing chemistry. The voice actors and actresses in the show are top tier. They have remained so from season 1 to season 2. It still is way prettier than it really needs to be, and I'm all here for it.
Yes.
The only thing, and this is the tiniest of nitpicks, is we knew it was coming. The second OP is not as good as the first.
Yeah.
That was my first question for you immediately. I was going to be
I like
does the opening
I like the song.
But it's still good. Like, I still like this opening. The song is very nice, and the song keeps with that kind of jazzy feel. But it's not as technically interesting as the first one was. There's not as much, like...
Scene selection.
Like, crazy stuff going on for your eyes. And I feel like a lot of it is a little bit stagnant. Like... it doesn't have as much joy or fluidity as the first opening, but it's still good. It's still cute. There's a scene where Kaguya cuts an egg in half and then flips one side and it looks like a heart. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. But yeah, it's a great show. It's continuing to maintain the same kind of humor. And I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to watch more of it with Lily. It always makes me happy to watch Kaguya with her. Especially since as the days go by, she wants to watch anime less and less, so at least I still have this one. Gallon, Dino, and Kaguya-sama are all I'm getting this season, and I'll take them.
Basically.
I mean, and you know what? That's fine. You know what I had last season? Nothing. Fucking nothing.
Oh no.
So if this season I get 2, man, I'm moving up in the world.
I think you're just lucky.
Yeah. But yeah, Kaguya definitely swims. It's one of the best anime comedy rom-coms in my personal opinion. I think that hopefully we'll get a little bit more insight into Kaguya's character in this season, because they kind of teased a bit of character growth from where she started in the student council to where she is currently. They keep kind of teasing that, like little pieces of that. And I'm really hoping that that will come to fruition in this season, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it's still very funny. I laughed my ass off the first episode. I laughed my ass off the second episode. I'm sure I'll continue laughing the entire time I watch the show. It's just such an intriguing and unique cast, and I just hope that more and more people will be enlightened by the light of Kaguya. That's all.
I'm very curious to see the new additions to the cast as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they introduced this yandere girl, and I like her already. Like, I sent some pictures on the side to Cammy, and I was just like, hey, look at this girl.
Oh, yes. I recall that now.
Yeah, it was funny.
I need to catch up, like, ASAP. The only reason I think, when I tried to watch it last, I remember Funimation's player kind of up, so.
Yeah, other thing! Season 1 was on Crunchyroll. Season 2 is exclusively on Funimation, and that is a piece of shit, especially with this kind of show. And I'm just going to go on a little bit of a tangent. There are some shows that I can suck it up and go, wow, I hate this player, but I'll stick around because I need to watch this legally somewhere. Kaguya, I almost want to pirate because there's so much stuff going on at one time in Kaguya all the time. Sometimes people will be talking at the same time.
It's great.
And the entire screen just fills up with subs.
They don't do a good job.
They do a terrible goddamn job. Funimation has the worst subs in the industry, and they really need to shape up if they're going to be getting most of the anime that we're going to be consuming, which seems to be a trend now. So please be better, Funimation, or I will leave you.
Same.
I will leave you.
Same. It was the same with another show that you're going to talk about later, Cass, where me and Zach were hanging out over the weekend, and we're like, I asked him, I was like, you want to watch Kaguya? We got like 2 minutes into the latest episode, and he was like, yep. Now I remember why I don't like watching this show with other people, because I have to pause the episode in order to read what everyone is saying. This is cluttered all over the place.
And the thing with Kaguya is that sucks, because then it ruins the comedic delivery. It's just, it's frustrating.
Apparently it is going to get a dub at some point.
Kaguya?
Yeah, supposedly.
I mean, I could see Kaguya with a dub.
Huh.
I mean, I'd watch it, but by myself, because Lily doesn't do dubs, but...
Fuck that!
But
I ain't gonna watch Kaguya without the president's fantastic Japanese delivery.
I mean, you are so right. I just think that when it comes to dubs, I think that comedy dubs I tend to like better than like serious romantic dramas in dub. Personally speaking, though, but I will always probably love the Kaguya-sama original Japanese dub just because of Shirogane's voice actor. He makes the show. And Kaguya is a close second. Chika's also perfect. Actually, they're all fucking good. A dub would have a hard time. I'd still watch it, though.
I wouldn't.
Oh my god.
I'm willing to go back and watch most things that I find that I love in dub, which is why I'm still slowly trudging through the Hanako-kun dub. I'm going. It's happening. It's awful.
Oh no.
But anyway, yeah, Kaguya definitely swims. Please watch it if you haven't already. Please. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Heck yes. All right. Up next again is Lily.
All right. My next show is BNA, or Brand New Animal. The new Netflix furry show by Trigger. That's a lot.
You sound winded. Was watching this show painful for you?
It wasn't. I did not like it as much as I thought I would.
Oh, okay.
Ichigo didn't save it?
I don't like her character that much.
Nah.
Which kind of sucks, because that's the main character. But, yeah, Brand New Animal looks great. It's got some great action. It's very Trigger, and it's also got, like, a good, aesthetic and general, like, feel and look to it. But I don't know, there's something, like, I'm not very invested in the plot. I don't really care about the
world.
No, not the world. They have this, like, conspiracy plot going on in the background, and
yeah.
I don't know. I guess, like, it starts off with, like, there's, like, very heavy, like, discrimination, racism, like, themes going on when it starts, and I'm sure that's going to carry on through the entire thing, but I wish that was being explored more than this, like, conspiracy, I guess, that's going on. But that's just me. It's alright. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. That's my rating. It's okay.
It's okay.
Is it also treading water, or is it, like, bobbing up and down a little bit?
I guess it's bobbing up and down, yeah.
It's breathing, but just barely.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people love this show, and I'm sure you guys might like it, but I'm personally just not that committed.
And that's fine. It takes a lot to make you commit to anime. Like,
it does.
I think that me proposing
You've
to
either-
you was
you've
an
either
easier
gotta-
choice to make.
Yeah, you've either got to be Gal and Dino or, fucking go home.
Damn.
That's not true, actually. My next show I actually liked, so.
Damn.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, well, we'll
Well,
find out later.
Yeah, before we get to that, Craig, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this one. Tell us about Kaminoto.
Tower of God, the latest hotness. Pretty much backed all by Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll original with collaboration, obviously, with Webtoons. This is based on a manhwa that's hosted on that website. My coworker, fun fact, who also watches anime, is really into this and has been reading the manhwa. It's over 700 chapters. Or not 700, 500. Now you may be asking yourself, what are they going to do? Because this show is only slated for 13 episodes. I wonder what they're going to do for this show. He told me that there's going to be like some crazy twists and turns on this ride. So I'm very curious how it'll shape up. This show fucking is interesting. I didn't know what to expect about it, except hype trailers and cool animation. I actually looked into this and figured out that the animation studio's like a subsidiary of TMS Entertainment. So I'm like, that's interesting. They helped with like Lupin and shit like that. Cool. This basically is a story about a kid named Bam or Yoru, which basically means like nightshade or some shit. Again, since it's Korean, they have to like create like different names. So like Bam, and then he's trying to find a girl, and her name's Rachel or Rahel, and apparently she climbed the Tower of God. Whoever climbs to the top of this tower gets any desire they want realized. And basically, he tries to chase her up this tower. All the while, he encounters a test of each episode. Each floor is a different test. So it kind of gives me, like, Hunter... I think I told Cass this, but it, like, gives me, like, these Hunter x Hunter vibes in the sense of, like, unique cast of characters and unique settings. And while you're being challenged and, like, climbing up a tower... I will say, though, the only flaw of the show, and I know a friend of the pod, Zach, I think he's dropped the show because of this, is they literally throw you right in. They don't really hold your hand, and they introduce you to a lot of characters, and that is the flaw, and I will agree to that. I don't really know any of the characters outside of Bam, Shun, which we only are now just getting somewhat of his backstory, and their other teammate, Rak, which is basically a Gator Man, which is like low-tier Kaimon from Dorohedoro. But it's interesting because the first episode, he has to fight a serpent. The second episode, it's basically Battle Royale. 200 participants have to get to form teams and climb the tower. And then episode 3, basically have to get through a force field. And I'm kind of into it because of what each episode brings, what tests they have to pass in order to keep climbing this tower. And they're now on a bonus-like stage as of episode 4, basically where it's just like keep away with a crown. And everyone's fighting each other. So you get to see, like, crazy people's powers. Like, you even have a guy that does nothing but sleeps the entire time. And then when he wakes up, he's insanely overpowered. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. But also, it's a lot of names. And I'm really dumb. And I can't keep track of everyone. But it's also really fun and animated really well. The opening and ending are, like, performed by a Korean pop band. So I say, yo, dog, this shit swims, or it flies, like the bird in the opening. It flies. So,
hey,
I say go give it a shot. If you're not sold by episode 1, then you know what you're getting yourself into. It's just kind of episodic and test of the week sort of thing. Cammy, by the sound of it, you have been watching this show.
Yes. So this is one that Get and I decided to try out because I just figured it would be something that if we decided to watch it, it'd probably be good for us to watch together. Mm-hmm. And it's been that. So we've seen 4 episodes so far, and I very much agree with you. I think that I had to deal with it by episode 2. I was like, okay, look, you're just not gonna know everything.
Yeah,
they're gonna drip feed it to you, just like, do you want to deal with this or not? And I think what keeps me dealing with it is, like you said, excellent production value. The music, because it's by Kevin Penkin, is so good. Like every scene, it's so fucking good. The last scene of episode 1 really sold me on it with the start of the Battle Royale, how I think Kun is talking to Bam, and he's just like, you really need to, like, watch your back. And then he looks behind him, and then, like, everybody's, like, surrounding him. And I was like, oh, shit, that was executed so well.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to know what happened. And so the level of intrigue is there. Kun's a hot, white-haired anime boy.
Yeah.
So,
he really is.
There's that. Rak had to grow on me, but he's funny. I like him. I don't understand why he calls everybody turtles. And
I don't either.
I get that he's an alligator, but still, like, they're not turtles.
The blue turtle, the black turtle.
Yeah. And I like Shibisu. I think that's his name. He's the guy with the jumpsuit.
Oh, right.
The, like, purple and orange one. And he's just a fucking idiot. And he's with these 2, like, really talented people that don't give 2 shits. And he's, like, that comedic relief, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting. Like, I I don't know if I like love it, but it is fun and it keeps me interested in seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm a little disheartened in the fact that it's so long, because if it starts to plot into like super duper duper long running shonen thing, I don't know if I will stick with it. But for now, I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
Like, I didn't know about that until literally last week, and I'm like, this is a weekly that's been going on for 500 plus chapters. I mean, I could read it, but maybe they're gonna do the My Hero thing where they test it with one, like a 13 episoder, and then go in for season 2 if it's popular enough, and then give him more episodes. So maybe like, that's kind of like the thing with My Hero. It's kind of like shonen junk food. So this is kind of like my shonen junk food, where it's just like, it's animated pretty well. I like the boy. He's soft. He just basically wants to find his friend. And he's friends with the Gator Man who likes chocolate bars.
Yeah, he eats chocolate bars.
He loves chocolate bars.
I think my biggest complaint by the first episode was that literally every single girl that was like in front of Bam was somehow in some way like attracted to him or like an object of attraction, and I really hated that. But thankfully that's led up a lot in further episodes, and I am happy about that, just because that was pretty much my biggest issue.
All the girls so far, like since that princess girl, like you had the lizard girl, and then you had that badass girl with the sword. Good. Like, well, at least everyone's not all about Bam. That's cool.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. But yeah, I agree with you. The music's fucking great. Like, if anything, just watch the opening, because it's good stuff.
It slaps.
Yeah. Okay. Back on. Are we back on over to me? Yes, we are. Okay. Woo! So, unfortunately, I wish I could say such praises for this next show, but I really can't. So this is Kiitekure Tanteidokoro, or the Woodpecker Detective's Office. This is based off of a novel, if I am correct, and I'm just going to read a quick little synopsis because it's only like 2 sentences. A ghost was seen on the 12th floor of the Akasuka Junkai building. A newspaper article featuring the sighting brought together Takubuku Ishikawa, who runs a private detective agency to support his family, and his assistant Kyosuke Kindaichi to solve the case. So what I've gotten from the first 2 episodes of this, because the third one is not out yet, this was released very late, is that this show actually has a lot of things to it that reminds me of Rakugo Shinju, the time period that it's in and the traditional clothing that everybody wears. Like, the setting of it very much reminds me, although I can't say for sure what era it takes place in. You have these 2 guys that are some sort of like partners. They have this camaraderie, and one of them's very uptight and insecure, and the other one just kind of flies by the seat of his pants. He's very carefree and seems to just be brilliant and is able to determine things because it's a detective agency show instead of Rakugo. And the minute you watch episode 1, the insecure Shire guy is like, my partner was incredible, whatever, but now he's dead. And then immediately you go back in time to see like how they met and what's going on. And Cassie knows a lot of that is very, very much like Rakugo. But here's the thing that this show lacks.
Oh, no.
Good storytelling. Good storytelling. Like, it's so dry in the way that everything is delivered. It almost feels like scenes don't, like, it seems like the person who made this just has, like, no clue how to utilize visuals to tell a story. Like, it literally just feels like I'm reading like a dry essay of like, these characters sat together, then they said these things, and like there's no intrigue, there's no nuance to what they're saying. I had trouble focusing and I got like really bored. And sometimes the characters' emotional motivations don't make sense, and they'll like act out in a certain way or react emotionally, and I just really don't understand where they're coming from. And it also seems to be running by a mystery of the week sort of situation. I wish that, especially given it's based on a novel and they said, hey, this guy dies, I wish it was just kind of one overarching mystery, but it seems to be like mystery of the week, and there's not real concern or investment for these murders. It's more that the really like competent guy just kind of like encounters it, and then his friend's like, oh, well, who do you think did this? And then he's like, oh, I'm going to say some like literature stuff because I'm also a poet or a writer or something. And then it's like, oh shit, you knew what happened. It's just really boring. It's unfortunate. Yeah. It's unfortunate because again, it's kind of a cool setting. Maybe the novel's really good. It also has a really good cast of voice actors. The main guy is voiced by Takahiro Sakurai, who's really well known. You've got Saito Soma doing someone, because apparently a bunch of other men come in. And I'll be honest, when I saw the trailer, I was very interested because it was a lot of pretty boys. But basically, it's just boring. It's not very intriguing. The art is different, but not amazing. It doesn't move a whole lot. The color palette's kind of nice, I guess. But really, like, if you want something historical, if you want something with a little bit of mystery, go watch fucking Rakugo Shinju. Like, you should be doing that anyway. But like,
do it.
But like, definitely do that instead of this one. This one sinks into the pile of blood that pooled at the prostitute's neck in the second episode.
Damn, that escalated quickly.
Damn.
Yeah, but too bad I don't, like, care about is the thing. It's like there are these violent deaths, but I'm just like, I have no investment whatsoever. Yeah. So, off we go! Final round! Everybody get excited! Cassie, what you got to talk to us about?
Here we go for the 100th time. Hand grenade pins in every line. Throw them up and let something shine. Going out of my fucking mind. Anyway.
Do you know the rest of the lyrics of that?
Yes.
That's actually pretty impressive.
So I'm going to be talking about my favorite anime of the whole season that I'm going to be sitting and watching alone because I've already got 2 anime that Lily will watch and I'm not going to push my luck for a third. But if I was, it would be this show because it is unique and it is beautiful and it is Kakushigoto. And it is being animated by Reijou Do, which is... I'm not super familiar with, but I think it's a lot of the same same production people that were on Zetsubo Sensei, or at least it was from the same author. I'd have to do better research there. Look at me, coming unprepared. But yeah, this show is kind of a father-daughter show about the misadventures of a manga artist father who writes... I won't say he writes smutty manga, but he writes kind of inappropriate manga. And he desperately does not want his beautiful, pure-spirited daughter to find out what he does for a living. So he goes out every day in a suit, changes into his shitty manga clothes at a local boutique, and then walks the rest of his way to work. And every once in a while, he'll do drills on what to do if his daughter were to show up at his work. He also invented a monster that is supposed to be at the top of the hill where he works, so his daughter should not be tempted to go over there. He goes through great lengths to make sure that she does not know. It's heavily implied that the reason he doesn't want her to know is one, social stigma. He doesn't want his daughter to feel that he has a dead-end career, or one that isn't, normal for a father to have. He's also a single father. We're not sure why. So he really feels that need, that necessity to be the breadwinning parent and to be the good parent that his daughter needs. And it kind of picks up from there and is mostly silly and lighthearted, though as of the most recent episode I watched, which was episode 3, I think episode 4 is out by now, they are starting to trickle in some drama about what happens when his daughter does find out, and what other secrets her father may have been keeping from her. For example, it's heavily implied that maybe the mother knew she wasn't going to be around, so she made a bunch of boxes with ages on them. They were like, okay, age 10, you get this, this yukata and this, beginning children's cookbook. And stuff like that. And it only goes up to, I think, 16 or something like that. But then she goes to another house that the father had built, or that they had lived in previously, but the father built the new house that they live in to look exactly like this old one that I'm assuming that the wife and him and her lived at, and there are more boxes there that are like 18, 19, 20. I don't know what the boxes mean. I'm intrigued. I want to know. Why would he hide those from her?
What's in the
and
box?
Why would he? What's in the box? And also, how is she going to handle that? One of the questions that she asks herself, because you do get a little bit of monologue from the daughter as well, is, my dad never told me this, but I never went out of my way to figure it out either. Like, I never tried to, really push the issue. Why was that? Why did I not try to know him better? And I think those questions are going to be answered, but also it's, and in the backdrop, you have this crazy, wacky group of characters that work with him at his workplace. And they're all very fun and interesting, but they make up a bunch of the comedy of the show. So I'm really interested in how they're going to blend the comedy and the more fragile moments of the show. It'll be interesting to see, but for as of right now, they're doing a really good job of building intrigue and also making you laugh, which is pretty good. Also, the aesthetics are beautiful. I went to go look up the studio just because it just looks so unique. But I couldn't find anything else that they've done that I was particularly drawn to. But the aesthetics in this show are so beautiful and pretty. They're simplistic but gorgeous. The opening is one of my favorite ones of the season. And I can't recommend this show enough. While the world's going to shit, it's just one little nugget of hope and happiness that I get to consume every week, and I can't wait to watch more of it. As someone who grew up without a father, I'm pretty weak to father-daughter stories, and I don't know what that says about me as a person or what complexes I may or may not have, but I'm sure as hell happy that this exists and that I get to consume it and just, enjoy something soft and lighthearted. I don't think I felt this into a show about its, I don't want to say genre, but this type of show. I haven't been into something like this since Bunny Drop.
Ah, yeah, it is of that ilk.
It's got the same feel.
What about Poco as well?
I think Poco is also really good. If you like Poco's Udon World, you'll definitely like Kakushigoto.
Okay, I have to watch more of it.
Cammy,
I will do it.
Cammy, I have one more selling point on this show for you. Hiroshi Kamiya voices the dad.
Yes. I've seen the first episode
okay,
and I didn't mind it. I think I was wondering how much of it would be comedy, considering it's the author of Zetsubo Sensei. But
Yeah.
hearing that it has that intrigue and the more balance from what you're telling me, I will definitely have to give it more episodes.
Yeah, they definitely have more comedic aspects to the first episode, and there's still a bunch in the second, but they're slowly building up, even with the funnier moments. There's a trip that the little girl wants to go on with her group of friends, and the school trip, and while they're out on the school trip, she's trying to rinse some rice off, and they're just well, didn't your mom ever teach you how to clean rice? And she just blankly stares at them for a bit, and there's this moment of just kind of sadness, and the dad comes and sees her kind of just derping out, looking like she's daydreaming, and the teacher talks to him and says, listen, sometimes children it's not that they're not thinking, it's just that they can't comprehend what it is they're trying to think about, so they kind of push it aside.
Yeah.
And your daughter might be thinking a little bit, deeper than you think she is.
Nice.
But it's also still funny. There's an episode where 4 people think that he confessed or or proposed to him at the same time. It's funny and silly shenanigans, but I think they're really building up to this intricate and fragile relationship between a father and a daughter, and how that relationship is going to be able to continue or fall apart based on the secrets that they've kept from each other. And I can't wait to see how it plays out. I love it. It swims It swims into the
Awesome.
sunset.
Wonderful. I agree with you. It's also gorgeous, and I was really surprised that Aijiado hasn't done much else because they're showing off their skills here.
I think they've done stuff, just nothing that, like, really, like, apparently they also did, like, Ascendance of a Bookworm, and...
Which did not look good, let me tell you.
Shumatsu no Izetta. Do you remember that show?
Oh, Izetta. Okay, Izetta was pretty.
Yeah. I thought that they also did Zetsubo Sensei, but I can't actually find it in their like discography thingy. Not discography.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean. Their filmography.
Discography.
My brain is like melting.
They make music now.
The Rona has
I
gotten
guess.
more. The Rona.
Putting out a new sick EP soon.
Subscribe to them on SoundCloud.
But it is the same like manga author, I believe.
Mhm.
So that's where the style kind of comes from, and I think that it's just so pleasant. I swing one of two ways. I really like aesthetics and soft, and then I also want to check out the Piss 4 show this season. So,
Cass, you gotta let me know how that is.
I'll be sure to tune in and let you know. I haven't watched it yet. What is it called again? Grinder something?
Glepnir.
Glepadir. I gotta check that out. It looks fun.
Oh my goodness. Well, up next then we have Lily talking perhaps about a show that she might have liked.
Maybe.
Perhaps. Maybe. Possibly.
We'll never know. That's the truth of the matter.
My last show is Shadowverse. I think Shadowverse also, well, I'm not sure. I didn't check Mal. I know when I went to go initially watch it on Crunchyroll before their player didn't work on my browser for some reason, it had like a 2.5 stars. And I was like, sweet, that's a good sign. Show's actually fun. So, I don't know, sorry weebs, you'll lose again. So Shadowverse is basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Except if it looked insanely good, and they were playing a Hearthstone clone. It's about this boy. He's very happy. It's basically got every single shonen, like, anime trope you can possibly think of, just neatly packed under that little well-animated bun of goodness. So I probably would have absolutely loved this and been, begging my mom to let me play Shadowverse or something if I had been watching this as a child. But, yeah, anyways, he doesn't have a cell phone for some reason, probably because he lives alone with his grandpa. And he's like, oh, I wish I had a cell phone so I could play Shadowverse. Because that's how you play it. It's not an actual physical card game. You have to play it on your phone, like in real life. Basically trying to make sure little children have smartphones, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, he, fucking finds one magically in his attic that his father probably left behind. And then he starts playing Shadowverse, and he's super good at it. And it's very, typical of what you might expect for a shonen anime about a card game. But it looks super good. And it's just kind of fun in this sort of very popcorny, cheesy, I just want to watch something that reminds me of the garbage I watched when I was a child, and also doesn't look like the garbage I watched when I was a child. One of my favorite things about Shadowverse is that so when the kids are getting ready to play their game, they have to set it up or whatever, and they stand there in front of their holographic tournament playing field or whatever, and they have this bit of stock footage where they're it's almost like a magical girl transformation scene, except nobody's transforming or turning into something different. They're just putting their phone into this little bracelet on their hands and getting ready to duel. But it has its own music segment, and every character has a little animation for it, and it's very much a magical girl transformation sequence for a card game battle.
I love it.
And it's super
to see
dopey, and I love every second of it. And also, for some reason, after they play enough of the card game, in the middle of a match, they get these auras around them for some reason. And it's so stupid, but it's also fun.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, that's
So-
awesome.
Are you gonna watch more of it?
Maybe. I don't know if I feel like it. It's probably out through Gal and Dino. It's probably the one thing I'd probably watch from this season, which maybe says a lot about me. Or maybe it says a lot about the rest of anime fans.
Yeah, you out there.
That's shade. That fucking shade.
I think you would like Appare-Ranman.
Lily just
why
blocked
would
out the
why-
fucking sun
why-
and cast
why-
shade over everyone.
I've read Steel Ball Run though, Craig, unlike you.
Oh, you know, I walked right into that one, so I'll take it. I'll actually take that one.
You know what you did.
I'm too lazy to read JoJo's. I should read JoJo's because David Productions won't animate Stone Ocean now because they have Fire Force and all of that grand money.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sad.
Remember when I thought Fire Force was gonna be good?
Remember when you like kind of tried to defend it for a little while? Like
I tried, and then like
you didn't get that. You didn't get as far as I did. Trust me, it doesn't get any better.
Remember when I thought Fire Force was good?
yeah,
We all
I thought
did.
it was really funny. I didn't.
Remember when Promare came in and saved me from myself?
That comes out, and that actually comes out on digital in a few days as of this recording.
Yeah.
That was so incredibly existential. Oh my god. All right, Craig, that means you are up next.
Hi, my last show I'm going to talk about is Wave Listen to Me, or as Cass would like to call it,
Yes.
Name yo Kiitekure. The studio here is Sunrise. If you didn't listen to the bottle's surprises, I picked this because Zach let me know it's by the dude that did Blade of the Immortal. I heard that manga's prolific, and this is about radios. And I'm like, man, I haven't listened to the radio in God knows how long, but I remember liking the radio shows when I went to community college, so I'll give this a shot. See what it's all about. So it's basically about a lady. I wrote her name down because I honestly keep forgetting about it, but her name's Minare Koda. And she's in her mid-20s, you know, the millennial lifestyle. She's got to pay rent. She's like got a car payment, you know, everything gets a little too real when she's just got a budget in these first 3 episodes. While also in the first episode, it sets up she drinks and she just drunkenly rambles about one of her exes into like some guy that's sitting next to her at a bar. And lo and behold, this guy sitting next to her at a bar is a producer at a radio station. And basically, she gives consent to air her grievances on the radio waves. And when she goes to work the next day after a hangover, then she's like, what? That's my voice. I did not consent to this. She goes over to Producer Man, which I forget his name of, and she's like, what the fuck, Producer-san? And he's like, well, you did, you wrote down that I could air this. And she's like, basically, from there, gets roped into radio work at his station. She gets her own segment in like the first 3 episodes, and basically she goes from her job at the restaurant to working at the radio station and befriends one of the secretaries there that helps run the show. I like this show. I think it has a very unique art style. It's kind of like got like if I remember, Kami, in the surprise episode, you kind of like said the art style kind of reminded you like Hinamatsuri, and I totally can see that because it's like shading is really interesting.
Yeah, the shading and the character designs also remind me a little bit of Hinamatsuri.
Yeah. I also gotta give kudos to the voice actress behind Minare. Her name's Riho Sugiyama, and this, like, her performance, she hasn't really done a lot. She was like, I think she was a minor character in Interspecies Reviewers. That's the thing I saw.
Oh, no.
Yeah, out of all of the things that I saw, I'm like, oh, that show, that's the infamous show. Cool. In this show, her acting chops are on 11 because it does, again, kind of like Appare, it does a flash forward where she's doing her show and she's taking audience questions, but also doing it in like a performance style like read where she's reading the questions, but she's acting like she's on a mountain and running from a bear while also answering these questions while fighting the bear and actually acting like she got physically assaulted by the bear. And it's, like, very entertaining. She doesn't skip a beat when she's on the air. There's, like, no pregnant pauses, no onomatopoeias or ums or uhs. And I'm like, that's so cool. And you don't really need to know a lot about radio in order to really get it, because it just kind of slowly introduces you into, like, all right, when we give you the signal, you flip this little lever to basically saying you're on the air, and you just go from there. And I'm very curious to see how she integrates with the rest of the cast. She's, like I said, she's already befriended one of the secretary ladies, and she loves booze. Obviously, she loves booze. I like I said, I related to the fact that she's like, all right, rent comes out at the end of the month, and I got a car payment. How am I gonna make ends meet? Okay, here we go. Well, she's obviously in a drunken stupor. So, obviously, the show swims. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, a lot of the shows that I've watched this season are all stuff that I am actually engaged with and actually keeping up with. Spring season, actually pretty good, outside of the ones that have been postponed. So
that's so good to hear from you, because I feel like you've been very much, like, kind of negative on seasonal stuff over the past maybe like year or so, because you got like, you know, burnout and stuff, and it's nice to hear that they're somehow some forces are making it up to you a little bit, you know.
Well, to be fair, I looked at this and I'm like, well, in winter I've only watched a few episodes of Eizouken and a few episodes of Haikyuu, so I guess it's making up the difference here in this season.
Oh shit, you just reminded me. I need to work on one of my New Year's resolutions.
Huh?
Oh, hey.
Oh.
The year of 2020 was the year I was going to catch up with Haikyuu.
I mean,
I forgot.
It's quarantine.
The quarantine.
Quarantine.
Maybe if I pass my test this weekend, I'll reward myself with a couple episodes of Haikyuu.
There you go.
You start from the beginning again? I forget.
Yes.
Nice.
I always start from the beginning. Because season 1 of Haikyuu is a masterpiece.
Yes.
And no one's fighting me on this, so I guess I'm right.
I mean,
not my kind of thing.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't agree, but I don't see a need to fight because subjective. So, so we good, fam.
This is fine. This is fine.
You've even said before that we need the spice of life in anime opinions. You said that last episode.
Do you want to fight me? You want to go, Cammy?
No.
You want to go?
No, because I know I'll get beaten up in the process.
No, please. Oh, please.
Says the one who is very fierce when you play Mario Kart with her.
Okay, yeah, but do you not remember the fucking awful time I had with Kirby Air Ride? You just watched me fail. God. You just sat there. You didn't teach me how to play it. You didn't teach me any. I just kept falling off waterfalls, and you just watched. You're
right.
watched.
God, I did not have good gaming etiquette back when I showed you that game. I'm so sorry, because like you had the decency to teach me Mario Kart.
Kimmy.
I was just a fucking savage. Jesus. Okay, well, thank you for teaching me etiquette.
Shit, watch the world burn.
Gaming etiquette.
Gaming etiquette. Fuck, man. Oh, I've got to make it up to you sometime. Then we can have a proper showdown.
It's true.
That's all on me. Shit. To get back to the show, I'm glad you passed it.
Yeah.
The first episode of this show was insane, and I liked it. I haven't watched any more since then, but like the fact that they just zone in to her with the bear skit and you don't realize it's a skit till like 15 minutes in is hilarious.
Yeah, I actually am very curious to see more of that. She hasn't done it yet in the first 3 episodes, but I want to like see her start to get her groove in her time slot.
Yeah, I'll have to watch more of this one as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love Minare, like how I talked about Katarina Claes. Like Minare is a great female character. I love the scene when she wakes up and she's not processed her breakup yet, and then she's just like, oh shit,
yeah.
I need to cry.
Yeah.
And then she like goes and just looks for a sad movie and some cereal and cries. And it's also funny because I guess she was supposed to watch the romance movie Ghost, but instead she watched Ghost Ship, and she was like, that was sad,
it's a horror
but it was
movie.
really gory.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, so no, she's good stuff. She's good stuff. I will have to watch that. Yeah. All right. Well, since we were talking about our yesterdays and the terrible, terrible gaming etiquette I bestowed on Cassie, gomen nasai desu. I will go ahead.
I'm just getting to the point that Cammy wants to trick you. She wants you to think that you can beat her, that you have an inch of any kind of hope. She wants you to know that, and then as you fail, she's just gonna watch. She's just gonna watch.
I just want to play Mario Kart drinking responsibly again, not gonna lie.
Oh, I think Cammy would have fun
that
with
was
that.
fun. That was fun. I miss playing Mario Kart with y'all.
No, so when our friend Brendan came to visit, and this could just be a fun extra story for our listeners very quickly before we get out, but our friend Brendan from the ye old north of Canada came to visit and taught us to play Mario Kart drinking game Responsible Edition.
Ooh.
So you basically come up with rules for when you need to take shots. Like, I don't know, you get hit by a power-up, you gotta take a shot. You have to pull over to the side of the road, and then you can take your shot. You need to drink responsibly. You need to pull over.
Oh my god.
It's
take your shot or take your drink, and then you can keep going.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's catered to beer mixed drinks rather than straight shots. I distinctly remember Lily trying to drink from the bottle, and it just backfired horribly.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I tried to be efficient about it. Pouring a shot every time seemed like putting myself at a disadvantage. Yeah, it seemed really stupid. I was like, I'm just gonna chug from the bottle. Fuck it. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm glad you're here to tell the story.
Yeah.
I think it also whoever got last had to take another shot. So
yes.
I think Cass.
I'm used to that shit with playing Uno with Cassie. Uno with Cassie. What if we make it where if you win, you have to take a shot, and if you lose, you have to take a shot. If you get second place, you don't have to take a shot.
You don't seem to remember, Cammy. We played that too. I still won.
I think we.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, fam.
I will get everyone around me drunk. If you want to get drunk with me, you should listen to our social links, and maybe you can find a way to slip into our house for a drink or two.
Oh, damn.
That's not going to happen. I'm not giving you my address, but Cammy does have some sweet social links.
I do. I will get those to you in 1 second. I just really quickly got to tell y'all about a show called Yesterday Wo Utatte.
Oh, shit!
Yesterday to me.
Oh, my God.
And then after that, we will get you some hot social links.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You are totally fine. I thought it was funny.
Before the social links, I do also have some quick shout-outs I want to give for the season that I'm watching.
All right. Oh, yeah. Your hot shots. Craig's hot shots. Okay. So Sing Yesterday to me feels a lot like a love child of Welcome to the NHK and True Tears. Because your main character is a post-college loafer, they call it. He's not essentially a NEET, but he works at like a 7-Eleven and just is very aimless. He doesn't have anything going for his life. He doesn't want to pursue anything. And he meets this strange girl with short hair and a bird. There's a girl with short hair and chickens in True Tears. Anyway, she's eccentric and she's really cute and fun, and her name is Haru, and she's interested in Rikuo, our lead guy. We're not quite sure why. Meanwhile, he is pining over Kana Hanazawa, basically, who it's Kana Hanazawa.
I did not know that.
What? Okay, anyway.
Well, to be fair, okay, I will say, I'll preface this by saying, don't binge the show.
Don't. Yeah.
So by the end of it, I was kind of like, oh god, I'm feeling sad.
Yeah, it's just sad and slow moving, and you'll Yeah, I don't condone binging this show. Watch it weekly.
Yep.
Anyway, so there's Kana Hanazawa, who was classmates with Rikuo, and she went on to be a teacher, and he's like, oh no, I still have feelings for you. Hey, guess what? She is back in Tokyo, and so he has to kind of come to terms, oh, do I want to confess to her? Am I over her yet? But there's also this weird girl with the crow that likes me, and we don't fully know why. And then by episode 2, I was happy because we got another boy. He has a safety pin in his ear because he's an edgy art student, and you're just getting like really good slow moving drama, like slice of life melodrama. Actually, I don't know if I'd call it melodrama. It's just drama. The characters are pretty okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Kana Hanazawa's character, but we're getting some more depth onto why she is the way she is, and that aspect is very interesting.
In episode 2, yeah, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I kind of have some gripes with the show. I think some of the writing is kind of dated. There's talk
How?
in the sense of it talks about men and women and their relationships and how they can be friends and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, well, this seems interestingly written. It's just like the blonde guy at the 7-Eleven is like, could you be friends with her if she's into another guy? I'm like, well, yes, or you deal, I guess. But that's a slight gripe.
Yeah. I think it's healthy to say, like, basically, I mean, I have people that I've been able to be friends with. I've also, especially when I was in college, I pined after someone where it was really like I had to stop associating with them because it was just bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew they didn't like me, but I was just like spiraling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's less trying to be like, let's talk about gender roles and this sort of thing, but more just like, you know, how much are you willing to sacrifice your own needs for someone else's?
Yeah, that makes sense.
With like Rikuo and his pining.
Yeah.
But I can see that. Yeah. So yeah, this is a very slow-moving melodrama that is getting pretty interesting. I don't quite know why I like it because sometimes I think it's kind of boring, but something's keeping me watching it. I bet it might be the beautiful animation that Doga Kobo is doing. It's so cool to just see them tackling something that's not Moe Blob, even though they have that this season with the fishing anime. This is a full adult cast of characters, and it's touching on adult subjects, really being aimless after you graduate. There's going through grief, unrequited love, rough family dynamics, it seems like so far.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely interested in it. I will say it swims, but I'm also like, it could go the route of melodrama where I just get tired of it and I give up on it. So
that's the same with me.
We will see. We will see.
I it's definitely like the Twilight Zone where it's on the opposite side of the pond. You have the cute fishing girls that was delayed, and now you have just existentialism with like adults, and the art is just a lot of dark, like overcast, subdued colors. There's crows everywhere, and it's just like, man, this show is hashtag mood. And as you said, don't binge the show. Watch an episode a week or take breaks, because I watched 3 episodes in a row for impressions over at Save Our Progress, and man, it was a good thing that I watched Digimon right after that, because I needed something light to palate cleanse that.
Yeah, a lot of people honestly have said that they find, mainly I think like Rikuo's, where he is at, very relatable, which is pretty cool. One funny just like production thing that bothered me about this show at first is that the mysterious girl is named Haru, and the guy who voices Rikuo, the main character, is Chikahiro Kobayashi, who voiced Legoshi in Beastars, and I recognize that, and so every time he says Haru, I'm just like, I can't, I fucking can't. It's just Legoshi talking to Haru.
That's great. That's great.
So
I did not catch that, obviously, since I watched Beastars and Derb.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's apparently he's getting more roles now, which is really good.
It's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the show is interesting. I just don't know if I'm hoping that it keeps me going. I can't guarantee that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's addressing really good things. It's beautifully animated. There's no opening, which is weird.
Yeah, I keep expecting there to have one, and I'm always thrown. I thought it was going to be an episode one thing, and it just kept going. I'm like, huh, okay.
Apparently there's also, like, after credits scenes that only air separately on the network, so, like, Crunchyroll doesn't have them, but you can, like, find them online somewhere for each episode. I'm like, it's weird. It's weird. But yeah, no, this one swims. I like it, and maybe I like watching it because I pair it with an episode of Villainess each week because they come out at the same time. So I've got, like, stupid isekai, comedy, and then this show. So they work as a good palate cleanser.
That's good.
Yeah. Right. Craig, do you think you'll keep watching it?
I probably will. That and listeners, I'll just see where I'm at as the weeks go by. Because
You're so nice. I dropped listeners like a bad cough.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot. There's a lot. So who's to say if I get bored with an episode, I may just fall off. You know, I did it with what was that show? The Tiger and Bunny spinoff. After like 6 episodes, I was like, yep, I'm good. I've seen what I need to see.
Yeah. Okay, now we're ready for the most exciting part of the program, and that's our social links. If you want to get in touch with us on Twitter, you can do so at twitter.com/AnnieChatbox. You can also send us some email at anniechatmail@gmail.com. Listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Toss us some hot cash muns at our Patreon at patreon.com/AnnieChatbox. If there are other ways that we can give you Patreon rewards more than what we have now, we are always open to suggestions. Please let us know via email or Twitter. And as usual, we have to shout out our lovely patrons, Sarah, Corpsey, and Carol, Suki, Paul, Troubleclef, and John. Thank you so much for helping us keep the lights on and let us keep doing what we're doing, especially in quarantine times. And if you need more podcasts to listen to during quarantine times, because who doesn't, you can definitely check out Craig and friends at Save Our Progress. Craig, could you give me a little plug for Save Our Progress?
SoundCloud.com/Save Our Progress. We recently did an episode about more anime, so if you want to hear my impressions on other shows, besides the assigned watchings, go listen to that. Talked about other show highlights of this season. Millionaire Detective, Balance Unlimited is fucking amazing, and Princess Connect Redive is also cute as fuck. They make a food guild. It's based on a gacha game, but it's cute. I can understand why Lily has dropped it.
Yeah, but I mean that's more because of my own personal biases against fantasy and also comedy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can understand why you dropped it because it's cute, but it's not really breaking the mold or doing anything like that could be considered safe.
Okay.
No.
Well, actually, I need to listen to that one. I'm actually very excited to do that.
Do it.
Yes, I want to hear everybody's thoughts on everything. For a little bit of quick recap, here are the shows that we definitely gave the most love to on our impressions. Fruits Basket Season 2, Kaguya-sama Season 2, Kakushigoto, Gal to Kyouryuu or Gal and Dino.
Oh, yeah!
Fuck yeah! And Shadowverse. Appare-Ranman, Digimon Adventure 2020, Tower of God, and Wave Listen to Me. Craig, you did full swims this time.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Like I said, last season I basically was like, the anime's a thing, Aizuken's really good. And now this season I'm like, yo, Spring is fucking slaps. I hope that the 2 remaining shows don't get postponed.
That's a hope. Also, Arte Light Pass, Otome, fucking villainous anime. Just watch My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. And yesterday, Utatte. So keep those in mind and let us know if you're enjoying them or if there's something that we missed. I missed Millionaire Detective. I've heard that one guy is super hot. Twitter doesn't shut up about how hot he is. So
Kambe.
maybe that's worth a watch. But for now, this is Annie Chatbox for episode 149, and we are signing off. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.